What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Fisherman's video. This one is fair value gaps with OrderFlow, and I'm just going to go over some cool examples that I found just within this little tight range right around here, and how you can trade the fair value gaps just a little bit better than most people would, okay? And this is basically just using the OrderFlow tools that you have available. So I'll go over some of the OrderFlow tools that you can use, but you can see here that there's CVD down here, okay? So just cumulative volume delta. We also have these big trades, okay? So this shows you where the big traders were at. And then we also have if I zoom in here really quick, you'll be able to see that this is the volume profile, the delta profile to be specific. So let's get into this. This platform that I'm using right now is Addis. You can find the link in the description if you want to get that. We do have a free start plan with this as well, which is really cool. But I suppose I will go over this first example, which would be right around here, okay? So you can see over here, we do have a fair value gap. They do have an indicator where you can just add the fair value gaps automatic instead of doing it manually, but I just thought I would include them manually for now. So we have this fair value gap. We end up breaking down, right? What are we looking for when we approach this area again? What we're looking for is some form of either A, absorption, or B, continuation. And the way we're going to spot this is by using just this indicator right here, which is the big trades. Okay, so this shows me where there's big players, okay, these big guys trading inside the market, right? So you can see over here, if we just look over here, you can see a bunch of big sellers starting to step in, okay? So these red dots are going to be sellers and the greens are going to be buyers. You can see a bunch of sellers stepping in right over here, okay? And this is showing us that there's a bigger hand inside the market willing to sell, okay? So you can see if I just zoom in here really quick as well, you'll be able to see that inside this volume profile right around here, this delta profile, that there was 10 sellers versus, or I think that was actually 102. So that was 102 sellers stepping in right around here and only 3 buyers, okay? That is showing us on the bid and ask side of things, okay? So we have the delta profile, the bid and the ask, imbalances, and a few other things. You don't really need to know this. All you really need to know is that when you approach one of these fair value gaps, what we're looking for is going to be a bunch of big sellers stepping in right around here to bring price down past all these levels, okay? That is going to be the main crucial thing, right? So you can see over here as well, if I just go over here, what do we have here? A fair value gap, and then look what happens, okay? We approach this fair value gap, and we have a bunch of big sellers stepping in, supporting that we're looking for sells, okay? Now, imagine you're just trading just normal fair value gaps, okay? You don't really have anything, like let's say this one, for example, I could just mark this out really quick, right? That we have this huge one right over here, right? But look at this. Okay, we had a bunch of big sellers stepping in, and there was really no reason to get long around this one, right? But look at this. This is even cooler. We had this huge fair value gap, and we had a bunch of buyers stepping in. Okay, so what does that show us? Right here, initially, there was a bunch of buyers bringing price up, and then look at this. Over to this fair value gap, we had a bunch of sellers stepping in, bringing price down, okay? And then look, right, you might have entered off here. Maybe you enter off midpoints or whatever it is. We had a bunch of sellers stepping in, so that's pretty much saying to us, okay, I don't want to buy this fair value gap anymore, right? And we could just remove that really quick. And then, okay, so that was a pretty nice example, to be honest. I didn't even include that. But then you can see over here that we had a bunch of buyers stepping in, right? And if I just zoom in here really quick, you can see a bunch of buyers stepping in, bringing price up to where this fair value gap over here. So you could have a bunch marked out, but if there's no real buyers or sellers stepping in, well, then you're going to want to skip those, right? This is just an easy way to visualize that, right? Is by using these sort of big trades. And look at all these sellers stepping in, and then boom, we finally hit this fair value gap, and then price just reverses. Okay, perfect example. Look at this one over here. Okay, so this is pretty much just solidifying these sort of order flow sort of concepts, right? Is that you can see here we had this fair value gap right over here, right? We come back over. And look at all these buyers stepping in, loads and loads of buyers stepping in, showing to us that we are more than likely going to move up. Okay, and usually what you'll see is just on the profile, if I just zoom in here real quick, right, you can see here there's 103 buyers stepping in over here, 103 buyers over here, 100 buyers over here. That's showing us that clearly buyers are willing to buy around this area. So let's get into that, okay? Now, if I just find some more that I marked out, okay, you can see over here, this was actually a little bit of a tricky one, right? And I thought I would mark this out just to show you guys, is that right around here, we had a bunch of orders. So it might be a little bit hard to see. So let me just zoom in And you can see here, so you can see a bunch of different types of orders. You can see some buyers stepping in. So let me actually just take this and move this over. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys already know where the fair value gap was, right? But you can see here, if I just maybe switch this back to candles, you'll be able to see a little bit better, right? So you can see here, there was a bunch of sellers, some buyers, sellers, and some buyers, right? What is it showing us, right? That there's clearly a fine, nice auction happening right around here, that there's a bunch of buyers and sellers stepping in. So what can you expect, right? Well, look at this. We see sellers coming in. Are they getting rewarded? Yes or no? Yes, they're getting rewarded, right? Because we're moving down. Are the buyers getting rewarded? No, because we're moving down. So these buyers are actually getting absorbed. Okay, all these buyers are actually getting absorbed. And this is a perfect scenario for this sort of play, which is an absorption play instead of a continuation play, okay? And I actually included one more absorption play over here, which you can see a bunch of sellers are stepping in right around here. And they're getting no follow through, right? So they're getting absorbed. And look at this, right on the next candle, we have a bunch of buyers stepping in, and then we actually get that follow through. Okay, so you can actually play, you can have a bunch of setups with this. Okay, so you could have, let's say just a pure absorption setup. Okay, so you see sellers, they're getting absorbed, let's get in. Okay, you could have an absorption and then continuation setup where you see a bunch of, let's say, sellers stepping in, they're not getting rewarded, so that means they're getting absorbed. And then you have a bunch of buyers stepping in, so that's continuation, right? So you have absorption and continuation play. Or you could just have a pure continuation play. Okay, so there's pretty much a couple setups that you can trade with this, which is really nice. So I think that's just going to go over these. I could pretty much talk about this all day, but realistically, that's just going over showing you guys using the big trades indicator and how to spot some absorption, continuation, and then let's say the other setup, which would be absorption and then continuation plays using the fair value gaps. This is the easiest way to spot this, is definitely by using this indicator called big trades. I could pretty much go over really quick how to get this. So you just want to go into the settings and then have all these set up. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Separated trades, depending on what asset you're trading. So this was actually on gold, but you could use this obviously on like NQ, ES, 6E, whatever it is really. And you could just change the minimum volume value and it will be a little bit easier, okay? Because there's different volume for different assets, right? So obviously if you guys want to learn more, you can join the free Discord. And then also we are doing a lot more videos, so make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you want to see any other types of videos, because I'm more than happy to do these. But I will see you guys in the next one, and peace out.